welcome to Theater by the Bay's season announcement live stream. My name is Sabrina Weinstein.
And I'm Isaac Peloso, and we are Theater by the Bay's 2021 indie producers. We spent the last 6 weeks learning the art of theater producing and working with Theater by the Bay in preparation of launching the 2021 season event. We are so excited to share with you what TBTB has in store.
Before we do, we want to acknowledge the traditional land in which Theater by the Bay operates. We acknowledge that our company is situated on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, including the Odawa, Ojibwe, also known as the Chippewa, and the Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. Land acknowledgements function as an opportunity for settlers to verbally recognize and legitimize sacred promises and treaties, many of which have not been honored and upheld by settler colonial systems. To this day, colonial violence continues to be upheld, and the effects of Canada as a settler colonial force continue to impact Indigenous communities. Therefore, land acknowledgements are only the beginning step of the ongoing work that must be done to decolonize ourselves as settlers and the spaces we operate, which were stolen from Indigenous peoples. This meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are so grateful to have the opportunity to work and create on this land.
Thank you, Sabrina. Now, the indie producer program that we are a part of and so many other operations at Theater by the Bay would not be possible without the generous support of the Ontario Trillium Foundation. Please welcome Mpp Doug Downey.
I'm so thrilled to be here. This is wonderful, and I'm excited about the 2021 season. It's the work that TBTB does is just phenomenal, and Trillium is supporting two different things. One is for hardware and the pieces you need to the tools you need to make it happen, and then also making sure that you're mentoring and providing playwriting and that kind of stuff. So almost $500,000 through Trillium. I couldn't think of a better way to do it. Theater is the heart of communities, and I just want to congratulate you on your successful launch, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say.
Thank you so much, Doug. And now from the Ontario Trillium Foundation, here is Sarah Gill.
Hello, everyone. I hope that you and your families are staying safe and healthy during these unprecedented times. My name is Sarah Gill, and I'm a volunteer representing the Ontario Trillium Foundation, or OTF. I want to congratulate you on receiving 2 grants from OTF. The OTF is an agency of the Government of Ontario and one of the largest grant-making foundations in Canada. And thanks to the Ontario government, each year we're able to award over 600 grants to nonprofit organizations that are doing great work in communities across the province. So in 2002, OTF approved your applications for 2 grants. A GROW grant of $370,900 over 26 months, which is supporting to expand the number of playwriting and theater production mentorship opportunities to local artists. This initiative is also helping the transfer of skills and knowledge to the next generation of artistic leaders. And a Resilient Communities Fund grant of $116,900 over 12 months, which is helping you purchase technical equipment and hosting workshops that leverage film and live stream technologies that connect artists and audiences and help generate new revenue streams. So thank you for inviting me to your virtual 2021 season announcement party to celebrate your new education and film initiatives and see firsthand how your organization is enriching people's lives through arts, culture, and heritage. With the pandemic, we know that it hasn't been easy for people working in the arts and culture industry. So thank you for continuing to do this wonderful work. On behalf of the Ontario Trillium Foundation, thank you for asking us to help you create healthier and more vibrant communities. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Sarah Gill, and thank you to everyone at the Ontario Trillium Foundation for your ongoing support for Theater by the Bay.
And now for the moment you've all been waiting for, it's time to announce the 2021 Theater by the Bay season.
So we start off the season with The Ghost Watchers, an augmented reality ghost walk theatrical experience written by Emily Adams, Mary Barnes, Rhiannon Hoover, Rochelle Reynolds, and Trudy Romanek. The show is directed by Ian Mogash and based on a concept by Michael White. Audiences will follow a mysterious ghost hunter through downtown Barrie using state-of-the-art spectrovision to discover the ghosts of Barrie's past and find out what is keeping these spirits in our realm.
Next is the Simcoe County Virtual Theater Initiative, featuring the RBC Emerging Directors. Theater by the Bay's RBC Emerging Director Project provides 2 emerging directors from the Simcoe County community with the opportunity to receive unprecedented training in theater directing, culminating in the creation and presentation of 2 new plays, Juncture and Two Girls, One Corpse. Juncture, written by Mary Harris and directed by Alexandra Goddett, follows Christine, a widowed woman in 1930s Barrie, Ontario, who, in recalling her life, relives exactly how she ended up in the arms of George Rogers, the man who derailed the life she once knew. Next is Two Girls, One Corpse, directed by Michelle Blanchard and Marissa Caldwell, and directed by Kiera Vu. This goofy comedy mystery follows 2 girls who attend the wedding of an ex-boyfriend, drink until they black out, and wake up in the apartment with a dead body.
Last but certainly not least, we round off the season with Mino Bimadziwin, written by Zegwin Mixamong and directed by Herbie Barnes. Based around the experiences of a group of Indigenous people entering a sweat lodge, Mino Bimadziwin, meaning a good way of life, is a story about the resiliency of love, healing, and of community in the face of trauma.
Let's check in with Artistic Director Egan Malgash to talk about the season.
Hello everyone, my name is Ian Malgash and I'm the Artistic Director of Theater by the Bay, and I'm absolutely delighted to have you all here this evening for Theater by the Bay's 2021 season announcement party. When I was designing this season, 3 big goals stood out to me. The first was to deliver safe theatrical experiences to our audiences while also providing meaningful employment to our local artistic community. The second, ensuring that the art that we make fits the needs of the moment, prioritizing stories of positivity and hope in the face of adversity. And finally, ensuring that we develop a season in line with our company's commitment to diversity and inclusion. I'm delighted by what we have accomplished already this year and cannot wait to share with you what we have in store over the coming months. This was by no means an easy feat, and I would like to take a moment to acknowledge Theater by the Bay's incredible team. Patricia Hammond, Leah Holder, Rochelle Reynolds, Khalil Gandhi, Claire Allen, Michael White, Theater by the Bay's board of directors, its artists, and those who volunteered to help us over the last year, like Brenda Thompson, Pascal Graveline-Pleu, and Leslie Koo. I'm very fortunate to have had such an amazing team riding out this challenging year with me, so huge thank you to all of you. I would also like to thank our sponsors, donors, and members for their continued support of our company and our mission. We literally wouldn't have been able to do this without you, so huge thank you to all of you. Finally, I'd like to thank our indie producers, Sabrina and Isaac, for putting together tonight's event. A true thank you to them and to all of you. Thank you so much. Now on to the season. One of my favorite parts of my job as artistic director is finding all the threads that tie our shows together. Since my last artistic director's statement at Drawer Studio in 2019, if you can believe it, the theme of healing through community has bubbled to the surface. Of course, since then we have seen a global pandemic, but also social movements have bubbled to the front of our minds, like the Black Lives Matter movement in the wake of the murder of George Floyd, the rise in Asian, anti-Semitic, and Islamophobic attacks, and the literal unearthing of the legacy of Indigenous genocide by our country. Such horrifying truths laid bare to us drive us to ask the question, through the power of community, how can we heal to ensure a brighter future? In each of our shows this season, this question is explored in ways that are full of heart, hope, and love. This season also utilizes technology to share this message and our work with an international audience. Whether it is the Ghost Watchers utilizing cutting-edge augmented reality technology to bring performances to your phone, to the Simcoe County Virtual Theater Initiative, delivering 2 hugely different plays to the safety and comfort of your home. Finally, Mino Bimadziwin will, if everything goes well, deliver live theater to the community again this fall. But if we cannot sit in an audience, or if you're not quite ready to come back to the theater, or if you're on the other side of the world, a premium home delivery option will be available through our new website, redesigned to be more modern, efficient, and provide exclusive content to our members, thanks to Dirksen and Davenport. I hope you enjoy all of the amazing offerings Theatre by the Bay has for its community in 2021. I'm also delighted to reveal that our 2021 season will be Theatre by the Bay's first written entirely by women from a broad range of ages and backgrounds. I should also mention that our shows are just the tip of the iceberg for what we have planned over the next year. Our educational programs are still running, and the announcement of an incredibly exciting new initiative hitting Barrie in the summer of 2022 will be revealed later this year. Stay tuned. Thank you, everyone, and I hope you enjoy the rest of tonight's festivities.
Thank you so much, Ian. Whoa, whoa, Isaac, did you feel that? Whoa! Whoa! Where are we? How did we get here?
We are in Heritage Park.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Isaac, what is that?
What's what?
Look on your phone, it's a ghost.
No, silly. It's Theatre by the Bay's first show of the season, The Ghost Watchers, an augmented reality ghost walk theatrical experience happening this summer.
Huh. Well, what a spooky time. Let's take a look.
I've been invisible to the rest of the world for more than 90 years. Nobody really knew me. I made sure of that.
I can't believe that the sense of failure that I carried my entire life has absolutely nothing to do with me.
Everything's been so strange, I thought. I might need your help.
There you are. Anine.
Did we just do it again?
Do what?
Appear out of nowhere.
Haven't you got the hang of it by now?
Hey, look, we're at the 5 Points Theater. Have you ever wanted to be a big hotshot director?
I wish. I don't know where to start.
Well, lucky for you, Theatre by the Bay runs an initiative called the RBC Emerging Artists Program. They take 2 local Barrie artists and teach them everything that they need to know about directing for theater.
Yeah, I've heard about that. They're part of the Simcoe County Virtual Theater Initiative. There's 2 shows this year, Juncture and 2 Girls, 1 Corpse.
Those sound great. Let's take a look.
I was really hoping that I'd be found by now. For goodness sakes, it's been a long, long time. I'm just a little bit frustrated. You say that you've been looking for me since I left, but here I am. The day that George comes to Barrie, I'm a bundle of nerves. Oh my golly gosh, I'm just like a schoolgirl asked on a picnic lunch by some freckle-faced boy. What do I wear? How will I fix my hair? I'm fretting over hats and shoes, and I can't find my pearl necklace anywhere. Next thing, I'm sitting down crying my eyes out, trying to decide if I'm going to go at all. Imagine if I didn't.
this what our lives look like now? Beer and bra Cheetos and 9 billion dresses for your ex's wedding?
How fucked up do you have to get to go home with the wrong person at your wedding?
It's not too early to start drinking again, is it?
I was drunk. He was drunk. I was sad. There was so much drunk.
Look at Angela Lansbury it.
You can't be Jessica Fletcher. I'm Jessica Fletcher.
I just have my cat. And a dead body.
Like 1, 2, 3, clap your hands, just clap them for me, give them a clap. Like 1, 2, 3.
Woo! Okay, I think I'm finally starting to get a handle on this appearing out of nowhere business.
About time.
It's giving me a headache, though.
Hey, Sabrina, is this the Aurelia Opera House?
It is. I've always wanted to go inside. It looks so beautiful.
Well, lucky for you, our last show of the season, Mino Bimadziwin, will be performed right here live in person as well as filmed for digital viewing. It's a beautiful show written by Indigenous playwright Zigun Mixamong about working through past trauma with a focus on community healing.
Wow, that sounds like a really beautiful and important script, especially right now. I can't wait to see the storytelling through the lens of an Indigenous writer and artist.
Let's take a look. Well, would you look at that? We are back home and live on the stream.
It's good to be home. Ow.
After hearing from artistic director Ian Magash and learning about the season a bit more through our on-location adventures, I think it's safe to say this season is grounded in prioritizing healing and community, which is a testament to Theatre by the Bay's dedication to local talent, local artists, and local stories.
Even through all the chaos and sadness that has endured through this pandemic, Theatre by the Bay's commitment to telling local stories by local artists is something that you will always be able to depend on. And we cannot wait for a safe return to performing. And we couldn't do that without our fantastic volunteers. So let's welcome back Artistic Director Ian Magash to present the Nick Bailey Awards.
Hi, everybody. Sabrina and Isaac and Khalil, you guys have done such an amazing job with this. It's very, very moving. So thank you for your work. Theatre by the Bay would not be the company that it is today without a dedicated group of volunteers. Year after year, we are so fortunate to have people of all ages dedicating their time to support our programming. The Nick Bailey Volunteer of the Year Award, launched in 2015, recognizes an individual who has gone above and beyond to support Theatre by the Bay's operations. The award is a gesture of our gratitude for that dedication. Tonight, we will be recognizing the 2019 and 2020 recipients of the Nick Bailey Award, as of course, last year we did not have the opportunity. The 2019 Nick Bailey Award for Volunteer of the Year goes to the wonderful Sandy Bishop. From 2017 to 2019, Sandy Bishop served as the head of our volunteers at our annual Stars Come Out Gala, overseeing 30 volunteers spanning 3 major functions. After each Stars event, Sandy came to the table with amazing ideas and vital improvements for our volunteers, culminating in Stars Come Out 2019 being our most efficient and streamlined Stars Come Out throughout my entire time with the company. As a result of her dedication, Stars Come Out 2019 also broke fundraising records for the company. We could not be more grateful to Sandy for her work, and we are delighted to recognize her as the 2019 Volunteer of the Year. Now on to 2020. Even though we did not have a traditional season, there was still much going on behind the scenes. For instance, anyone who has worked with Theatre by the Bay knows of our infamous storage unit. This is a massive space, packed to the brim with costumes, set pieces, and props, and has always been a bit of a dragon that even the bravest of us have not been able to fully conquer. That is, until Brenda Thompson came along. Brenda and her daughter, Chantal Chevrier, over the span of several months, purged, reordered, and dramatically improved the space. That alone would make her a front-runner candidate, but that is not all. Noticing a plethora of material, Brenda and Chantal turned old costumes into headbands for frontline workers at retirement homes, to help keep masks from pressing on ears after days and weeks of long shifts. This is an incredible feat and makes for a heartwarming example of how theater can directly support the local community. Congratulations to Brenda on becoming our 2020 Nick Bailey Volunteer of the Year, and a huge thank you to Chantal Chevrier for all your hard work as well. Thank you, Sandy and Brenda, for your dedication, and a huge congratulations to you both. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ian, and congratulations to Sandy and Brenda on your awards. You can support Theatre by the Bay by becoming a member or donating through visiting our website at theatrebythebay.com. Thank you to all of our generous donors, members, sponsors, especially the Ontario Trillium Foundation. For more information on how you can support Theatre by the Bay, check out our website. And stay tuned for interviews with the creative teams of each show, as well as announcements for ticket sales to the Ghost Watchers.
This concludes our official season launch. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in and joined us on the stream. We're going to stay on this live and invite our RBC Emerging Directors, Alexandra Goddett and Kira Vu, to have a relaxed talk back to discuss their work, their shows, and the RBC Emerging Artist Program, as well as bring back Ian Mulgash to talk about the season in general and how Theatre by the Bay has been doing. So please feel free to interact with us on the live chat and ask us questions. And if not, thank you so much for tuning in, and we can't wait to see you at the shows.
And have a great night.
Hello.
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 How are you two
How are you guys
doing?
doing?
Good.
Doing great. I went out today and printed my scripts and got my binders and highlighters organized. Very exciting.
Just as I
Having a
taught
physical
you.
script.
Sorry?
Oh, just it's nice to have a physical script. The whole time I've had little tabs all open on my computer. It's been a nightmare.
I know. I've been working off of like a PDF on my computer and like on my phone. It's not ideal.
Well, I would love for you both to introduce yourselves. Tell us about the shows that you're directing. Alex, do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. Hi, I'm Alexandra Cadet, and I am directing Juncture. It's honestly, like, I fell in love with it with the first read. It's this really, intriguing, based on a true story show about this woman who retells her life leading up to the point where she meets this man who derails her life as she knows it. Yeah, it's been very exciting to work with it. A lot of strong visuals come out of the script already, and it's a work in progress. So it's really nice working with the playwright. It's awesome. Sorry, I have my kitty here.
Hello, Kitty.
So cute.
Well, Megan on YouTube says that Juncture sounds so exciting, and I cannot help but agree with her. But Kira, do you want to tell us about Two Girls, One Corpse?
Yes, of course I do. So Two Girls, One Corpse is like my dream show. It is so funny and so grounded at the same time. Like, it's ridiculous, goofy comedy, but I think that the relationship between the two main characters is like very authentic and very sweet to watch, and their banter is just so funny. And I'm really, really excited to start working on it. Yeah, it's been
Any
great so
day
far.
now, basically. Yeah, any day. Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, how has the process been so far? Where are you guys at in the process?
We just finished our auditions and have selected our actors. So we'll be kicking off first rehearsals in the next week or so, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to start to meet with designers and everything too. That's kind of where my brain is at. I've been working with this Pinterest board, and oh my gosh, like my goal is to hit 100 pins. I'm so close. I'm in like the 70 something. So once I hit 100 pins, I'm gonna feel like, okay, I have like my vision, and then it'll be like 200 pins, and I'm just gonna keep going. I'm a big visual person.
Amazing. Well, congratulations again for getting this program. I have a burning question that I actually wanted to ask you two myself. I was wondering how the process was like learning to direct through a digital medium. I know you're working closely with Leah Holder and working a lot, I assume, over Zoom and digital platforms. And how do you think this will translate to skills in directing in person?
That's a good question. Alex, you want to take a stab at that?
Yeah, I can stumble my way through answering that. I think when you compare working online to in person, I try not to like be too different about it. I still want to try to make that human connection with everyone I'm working with. So it's really just been learning, how to be a good director and how to come into rehearsals and be prepared and be able to know what you want so you can communicate that with everyone. And I feel like that'll translate really well over Zoom. Communication is really important, especially online, because it's tough when you're writing emails all the time. Sometimes you don't understand people's tone. So I hope it translates well over Zoom. I haven't directed a Zoom show yet, so I hope I can do a good job over Zoom, and hopefully, we can be in person soon.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the day that you guys are actually in the theater, and it's going to be very surreal, isn't it? After such a long time without live theater, I'm sure it's going to be a very very powerful experience for you.
Yeah. I guess I'm a little bit of a unicorn in the sense that I have directed a Zoom play before where we transitioned to in-person performance. So I think that it really does enhance your communication skills a lot, and like your organization when you have to do the whole beginning portion of the process online. But yeah, I think that through this program, though, like a lot of the skills that I've been learning from Ian have been really theoretical. And so it's a lot of like taking the script and saying like, okay, how do I take these words and turn them into something on the stage that isn't words, which has been really cool. There's lots of things that I hadn't thought about before. So I'm excited to try that out, not online.
Absolutely.
Incredible. So I think we have some other questions from the YouTube stream, I believe, that people wanted to know. So one of them being, what has been your favorite part of this process so far? And if you can elaborate on that.
I loved reading the script submissions. I thought they were all really, really good. Like there was a lot of stuff in there that I was really excited by. Yeah, and like meeting with the playwrights and developing that has been a lot of fun. Just to have like that, multiple brains in on the project, kind of collaboration energy. I've really enjoyed that.
What about you, Alex?
I also really enjoyed reading the plays, but I think my favorite has just been working with the playwright Mary Harris. It's so new in its development, and we've really been able to see where else we can take the play with every new draft. And I come from a playwriter's background. That's kind of like my home in theater up until this point. So I feel like it's great to kind of give that experience to another playwright that I have been able to experience before. I'm kind of like on the other side of it now, and it's really interesting, and that relationship has been really great.
I love that you brought up your past experience. I was wondering from both of you what kind of experience you have in theater in the past and how you think that those experiences are going to influence your directing. I guess, Alex, you've already answered that a little bit, but if you want to elaborate on yourself as a playwright.
Yeah, so I have been playwriting since high school. I've done a little bit here and there. I started with the Sears Drama Festival, and then I did some work with the Barrie Native Friendship Center for a couple of years. And more recently, I've been writing a play at York. I just finished York's playwriting stream in the theater program. So I just finished that, and a couple of students came together this summer to showcase the work that we've been doing, because usually, the playwriting area at York doesn't usually get to put on their plays, but this year a lot of us came out of it with completed works. So someone said, why don't we show these? Like, this is really important. So a couple people came together, and we're doing an online festival. So I don't know if I could self-promo here, but Mirth Island on Instagram, it's called the 5290 Festival, is the showcase of 12 plays. It's really awesome. Amazing playwrights. I've had the chance to see their work through class. It's going to be really great this summer. So.
No,
Yeah,
thank you for sharing. That sounds really cool. Yeah, we'll have to share that through our social media so people can find that too.
We love a self-promo. Alex, what about you? I mean, Kira, what about you?
Yeah, I started pretty much in the same place as Alex. We went to the same high school. I also wrote and directed for this year's Drama Festival, and that was like the first major thing that I did. After I graduated, I joined a university theater company. I was on their board of executives for a bit and was producing and doing like technical theater. So I have done a lot of lighting design, which I really love. And then I switched into writing school, but I'm a screenwriter by training, not necessarily playwriting. So it's been fun kind of to see the differences come up and, just kind of experiment with what you can do with live performance that you can't do on screen, and kind of a little bit vice versa. But, yeah.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
We have a question in the YouTube chat from Candy Price. How did you enjoy or not enjoy the process of auditioning actors?
Oh my gosh.
I really enjoyed it. I always love auditioning. I think it's the first time where you really get to see other people's takes on the words that you've been working with for so long. All of it was great. Everyone that came out was amazing, and they all brought different things to the table. And it was the first time where I was starting to feel like, this is our George and Christine. Like, these voices are real. So yeah, it was really, really exciting.
Amazing.
Yeah, I gotta second that. It was a lot of fun. I think the only part of it that I did not enjoy was having to actually choose people, because there's so much talent in all of the people that we saw over the weekend, and I was having a very hard time kind of narrowing it down. But that is the only part I didn't. It's not even a negative thing. It's just like, there's too many talented people around here. What are you supposed to do about it? So.
A wealth of talent. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your question, Candy. If anyone else has any questions, drop them in the chat. We'd love to hear from you guys. Isaac, do you have another question for them?
I'm wondering. Well, one of the questions from the chat that we did get what was the most useful thing you've learned so far? I know you have both touched on that, but if you want to elaborate on any other useful tool or skill set that you can see translating into directing or writing or any of the other amazing artistic things you do, if you could speak a little bit more on that.
I had a lot of fun figuring out, I guess, the background of the show. So one of the earliest things that Ian and I worked on was there's a book by Katie Mitchell that is called The Director's Craft, and she discusses kind of breaking down scene by scene, where are they? In what room in the house? Where's the window? Where's the sun? Like, how many glasses of champagne are on the table? Like, you just go through every like tiny detail and like, how did they get here and what are their relationships? And one of the fun things about doing that for my show is that the characters were trying to do it at the same time that I was, because they were blackout drunk for the backstory part of the show, and they have to figure it out too. And so we had a lot of fun kind of piecing together what happened. And I think it also shed a lot of light on the show that I probably wouldn't have otherwise been aware of. So that has been really useful, also entertaining.
How about you, Alex?
I think right from the beginning, Leah was showing me how to, properly break down a script and where to start like developing your artistic vision, which really helped me realize that I could make my own choices and be confident.
Oh, she might be frozen.
Yeah, the troubles of being live.
You're live. Hello.
This is live TV. You're back.
Yes.
You're back.
Oh, you're back.
Oh, the joys of the internet. Sorry, I was saying, being able to break down the script and really like make strong choices has helped me feel a lot more confident going into this. Because previously I would always go into my work really open and that's not a bad thing, but I feel more like I am taking a stance on this and it's my work, and I can proudly say like these are my choices, and that's not something that I had before.
Amazing. We've got another question from the YouTube chat from Nancy Chappelle Smallclear. How do you feel that your approach will differ directing a live stage performance versus an online performance?
Good question.
I think Kira, you might be better at this, but I think I'm gonna need to put my film brain on. Because like it's still going to be on stage, but you have to think, how is the audience going to see it on screen, and that's so different. So I'm really going to have to, maybe watch a couple other performances online just to see what other people have done and see if it's, if I can start thinking framing it, because usually with theater you don't frame it because people see from everywhere, but framing is going to be a big difference.
Kira, what about you?
I agree that I'm going to have to figure out kind of what I want the audience to see and when, and maybe also like what I don't want them to see, because there can be some surprises, and I think that that'll be a lot of fun. I think I can also, like, one of the things that I really enjoy about film and what I enjoyed learning when I studied film was like how you can use it to kind of establish a tone or like a general energy. I don't know how else to describe it, but like I could, start shooting this like a 3-camera sitcom, and it could turn into something totally different than what it would look like on a stage, and it would still be really fun and hit the tone that I want it to hit. So I'm gonna have fun experimenting with that.
Absolutely. Those are great answers and a great question, Nancy. Thank you.
Yeah, and Ian, since you're here, we actually have a question for you. Do you think you could talk about sort of the challenges of putting together this season amidst like all the changes that's been happening in the world? And Alex and Kira, if you have anything to add to this as well, again, talking about like building your work and building the season amidst these challenges. But Ian, is there anything you want to add?
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Well, I can tell you that this season that we're presenting, I think, was of our 4th draft. We had all these, because if you think back to March, April of 2020, there was this sort of like, oh, it'll be gone by the summer, almost like, looking back, it almost feels like in the First World War, how they'd say, oh, it'll be over by Christmas, it had that sort of vibe. But anyways, we were all sort of hoping that might be the case. So I had a postponed 2020 season, and then I had a fall 2020 season. And then once we got into the summer, it was kind of like, okay, let's assume the worst. Like, let's assume the worst and work from that place, but still understand that like there are people who need jobs. There's art that can be made. And I think like as a theater director, you know, I really like a well-defined guideline, you know, like a structure in which I have to work. So for a director, of course, that's the words in the text. But for an artistic director, it's okay, so, you know, let's start with, we can't probably have people gathering for most of the year, if not virtually all of the year. So what can we do to, you know, to work within that and make shows that work within that? And then it was just a matter of, you know, finding the right people, coming up with the right concepts, and just making it happen. But it was very, very challenging. And I did mention off the top, or in my introduction video, that there were 3 goals, right? So the first one was make art that can be theater, rather specifically, that can be delivered to people right now. And then the second goal was make art that fits the moment. And the third goal was a focus on diversity and inclusion, right? Mm-hmm. So the last 2 really didn't change that much, right? Like we knew that those were going to be the goals. It was purely just how they were going to be delivered. And then, yeah, we found those right projects, and this is the result. But of course it was incredibly challenging. I mean, yeah, like obviously all theater companies, I mean, this was really an asteroid that hit us. And it was only scrappy mammals like Theater by the Bay that were able to adapt and burrow and, you know, think of smart strategic ideas, while some of our bigger friends and neighbors did not have that same opportunity. So, but yeah, so we're very fortunate in a lot of ways. Obviously, this whole season is a result of you know, support from the Trillium Foundation, support from the City of Barrie, support from our donors and members and sponsors who believe in us and believe in the work that we're doing, and the artists that are putting confidence in us to deliver stuff and give them art that they're excited about. So yeah, it's been a wild ride. It certainly isn't over yet, but today is a big day. This is a big, beautiful, wonderful moment that we should all be celebrating. And I'm delighted by the response from people. I think like the comments have just been really inspiring, and having you, Sabrina and Isaac, here has been really inspiring. Teaching Kira and seeing Alex and Kira work on this has been really inspiring. And that's what keeps me going this year in the darkest days, is just you guys, really. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Ian. I see another question in the chat for Alex and Kira from Trudy.
Yes.
Reading, Alex and Kira, have you had any opportunity so far to get to know each other much? I guess either in person or over like Zoom or digital mediums?
Yes and no. Yes, we went to high school together and hung out a fair amount there. Swam in the same circles, I would say. Within this, we've also been like, we've done a few of the sessions together. We did all of our casting together, that sort of thing. So we've had some chances to get to know each other and reconnect.
I love that.
Oh, Alex, I think you're muted.
I am muted. My cat was making noise. I didn't want to interrupt anyone. But yeah, no, we haven't had the chance to actually see each other in person since high school. It's been a hot minute.
It has.
I actually had a question for both of you two. So as you know, Sabrina and I, indie producers, this whole event, we've been learning a lot about the behind the scenes stuff, the physical things, the producing side of the work. And of course, you've been working on the directing and artistic side. I was wondering if you have learned or would like to learn any sort of like producery things that you could implement into your work as emerging directors.
Of course. Yes. Always. Somebody needs to be there to make it happen. Otherwise, like, nobody else has a job. So, yeah, totally. we did do one. It was like a crash course that Ian ran for us. Just like couple. Yeah. I want to say like a month or two ago. But it was.
I would love to hear about it.
Yeah, it was sort of like a 3-hour version of the indie producer co-op. It was just like all the big points, you know.
Oh God!
It was wild, but yeah, I'm glad it was useful. Lot to cover, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Well, Ian, because obviously me and Isaac are the indie producers this year, and also you are a very esteemed director, and you were one of the very first indie producers, and you direct now with the company. How has been the experience of kind of taking on a new generation and teaching both directing and producing?
You know, it's the funniest thing. Life is so funny, isn't it? Yeah. Like, 7 years ago, almost to the day, or 7, I guess, cycles ago, I don't know, whatever, to almost to the day, I was finishing my co-op. And to this day, I get like the Facebook memories of when Sam and I, Samantha Holland and I were indie producers working on 9 Mile Portage. And it's just, it feels like a lifetime ago. But also, honestly, teaching the co-op and seeing the Emerging Directors project in its 2nd year now and sponsored by RBC, and like being able to provide so many more resources to both educational programs right now is honestly one of the great joys of my job. And the fact that, like, because when I did the co-op, the company was obviously very, very different. It was going through a lot of growing pains. It's still going through some growing pains, but but seeing it where it is now and joining the company as early as I did and being able to like teach and impart the lessons, the hard lessons most times that I've learned. And so that way you can avoid the same pitfalls that I fell into as emerging producers is really, I think it's partly cathartic, but it's also really, really wonderful and inspiring. And I think is like these two programs together are probably one of the best things that Theater by the Bay offers. And I think is going to be a really important puzzle piece over the years ahead to ensure that, we continue to grow and expand. And I look forward to the day that I can hire Kira and Alex to work on directing our full-scale productions, and Sabrina and Isaac having you act and produce with us. And it's great. It's great.
Yeah, I would love that. That would be so good. Just fingers crossed that one day that can happen, especially in person.
Well, there's video evidence of me now, Isaac. So
yeah. I had a question for you, Alex, and specifically in regards to Juncture. So I know that one of the big questions you're always asked when you're a director is why this, why now? And Juncture takes place in the 1930s. So I was wondering if you've had any like thought behind how you can kind of bring sort of, I guess, urgency to Juncture or like bring it into current conversations.
Oh yeah, I think it's still very relevant, even though it's several decades old story. I think anyone can relate to Christine. She's a widow, but she's still young, and she's looking for adventure and life through love, and she takes some risks with meeting a new man, and that's something I think we can all experience with all the dating apps out there these days. And men like George are still around in 2021. So it's a big warning to look out for men like him. So it's still very, very relevant. I feel like that story will never grow old, and I feel like a lot of women can experience that.
Yeah, totally. And Kira, of course, yours is more contemporary in nature, but how would you add to the why this, why now for Two Girls, One Corpse?
Yeah, well, it's funny. I having graduated in a pandemic, the whole central thing of the theme is these girls are feeling like they're behind in their life, and I think that's something that a lot of people go through, particularly at my age, and also like just over the course of these past 2 years when everything's been on hold and you haven't really been able to progress or like develop yourself in the ways that like you would expect by this point. So I think that feeling of feeling behind and like feeling stressed because you're not where you thought you would be is definitely still very relevant, and will probably honestly always apply. So yeah, that's one of the things I like about it.
Also, it's just nice to have a comedy. Like,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
nice to just have a very silly, bombastic comedy right now, you know? That can't be understated, really.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about the comedic aspect of it, because you guys are going to be doing your rehearsals on Zoom and then filming in person. How are you going to kind of work with that comedic timing while also knowing that there's probably going to be a lag?
Oh, very, very carefully. I don't have really a great answer for that. I wish I did. I'm going to hope that everybody's Wi-Fi is working nicely.
That's the hope.
Yeah, that's really the key to it. Because if you have good Wi-Fi, even if you don't have good Wi-Fi, sometimes that's comedic. But for the purposes of this, if you have good Wi-Fi, then you can sometimes get the comedic timing and the energy going on Zoom. We had that a little bit in our callbacks this weekend, which was really great and kind of gave me hope for how this is going to come together on Zoom. And then hopefully we'll be able to rehearse once or twice in person to nail the energy and the timing and the physicality of the scenes. So that's the plan.
Greg Smith on Facebook says, we need to laugh, and I can't agree more. So I'm really, really excited for both of you guys' shows. How do you think that the shows kind of connect? Because they are very different, but I think that there is probably a lot of overlap. So why do you think people should watch the Emerging Directors Showcase and watch your two shows together?
This whole showcase, oh wait, never mind, I probably shouldn't say that. We seem to have been avoiding it so far, so I'm going to not finish my sentence.
Spoilers. Okay, noted. Everyone come watch the thing to find out what Kira's about to say. Well, I guess we'll wrap up soon, but if there's any more questions that anyone who is watching, please put them in the chat. We will put them up on the screen. We would love to keep talking, but we'll probably wrap up soon. Any more? Oh, I came in late. What are the names of the plays? Would you guys like to say the names of your plays?
Mine is Two Girls, One Corpse.
And mine is Juncture.
And Ian, what are the two other shows in the season?
Yes. Hi, Rosemary. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. So the season starts with The Ghost Watchers, which is an augmented reality live theatrical experience that's going to be running in the summer. And then we have a new thing called the Simcoe County Virtual Theater Initiative, which is 2 filmed plays back to back, and they're directed by our emerging directors here. So Two Girls, One Corpse, and Juncture. And then and that'll be presented through our website in August. And then we also have Mino Bimadziwin, which is a new play by Zygwin Mixamong. That's going to happen at the Aurelia Opera House in the fall. And it's a very moving production about Indigenous experiences in our area, and 5 Indigenous people from the area that go to a sweat lodge to purge from trauma. So it should be very, very powerful and a lot of range this season, which is something I'm really excited about. And all the information is now available on our website. I just got an email letting us know. So theaterbythebay.com, and all the information, the basic information rather, is there.
Amazing.
All right, I think that's all the questions that we have from the comments and from everyone else watching. Is there anything else that Kira or Alex you'd like to say about Juncture and Two Girls, One Corpse? And then Ian about Theater by the Bay in general? Anything else? Starting with Alex.
Come see it. It's gonna be good. It's the first time I've ever done something like this, so it's gonna be new and exciting. If anything, just come see for the sake of it. Come see what we do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she stole the thing I was gonna say. So pass it off to Ian.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, everyone. Your enthusiasm has been absolutely wonderful. And so tell your friends. Tickets will go on sale soon. And it's going to be a wild ride, and it's going to be amazing. So thank you, everyone. And I can't wait to see you in person when we do these shows. I really cannot wait. So thank you.
All right, well, that brings us to the end. I'm just going to throw up this little graphic so that everyone can remember all the amazing shows and all of our incredible sponsors for the season. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in, and we'll see you soon. And
Have a great night, everyone.
We'll end off. Goodbye.